It didn't add me to what they call the stage straight away like it does normally. How rude. Hello everybody. Welcome to our third Beadalong. Let me just get my screen straight. Hope you're well. Whether you're with me on YouTube or on Facebook, live or on the replay, please give me a thumbs up, pop me a note in the comments so I know you were present with me. So hello to Frances, she's first in the house. Hello, Carol. Hello, Jan. Lovely to have you all. How are you all doing? Now, this, in case you've not joined a Beadalong before, our lovely Sue is here as well. Hello, Sue. In case you've not joined me for a Beadalong before, it's up to you whether or not you want to do the project alongside me. Sometimes I know it's a little bit difficult to concentrate and bead. You might just want to observe, have a chat and do it afterwards. Or you might have a bit of crochet, a bit of knitting, another jewellery project that you might want to sit and do while we're together. The choice is entirely yours. But the whole idea behind this is that we set aside some time to create if you can, entirely up to you, or just relax. And I pick out materials from my website, which I'll also double up and put on Facebook. And I'm going to do an impromptu make. So I haven't done any prep for this other than to think, what will I need for this project? What would be nice for this project? And we're going to be doing memory wire. So do let me know how many of you have worked with memory wire, or perhaps you've got memory wire. Most people have got memory wire floating around, haven't they? But we often forget the fact that you create something very beautiful, and it's nice to go back to basics sometimes as well. So Jan says she's looking forward to seeing how you do the memory wire, as not used it before. And hello, Linda. Lovely to have you join. And with memory wire, you will need either a very old set of cutters that you don't use for your projects. It's really bugging me, the fact that my laptop is not central. Sorry, I've just moved you slightly. You'll either need a pair of really old pliers that it doesn't matter if they get messed up, or if you're going to be doing lots, invest in a pair of memory wire cutters, because these are absolutely brilliant. But don't use your best pliers, because it's normally quite thick, and like I say, it will ruin them, and you'll never get the pliers back. The amount of times in the past that I've run workshops where people have used my best pliers for cutting memory wire rather than the memory wire cutters, and then you can't use them again. So that's my first top tip of the day. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for joining. Right, let's go on the overhead. Let's get stuck in, and I'll talk you through some of the materials that we're using as well. But do have a chat amongst yourselves while we're together. Now, I think I've got that positioned fairly centrally. This is the memory wire that we've got, and I've got some that's thicker, but I prefer the 0.8 because it's more manageable to actually curl the ends, and they normally come in coils of 10, 20, that sort of thing. So you'll need to cut it down, because that'd be way too big for a bracelet. So I would be inclined to, I'm just trying to think, you'd want probably 3 full coils. So just to be on the safe side, 1, 2, you can do as many as you want. So for 3 full coils, I'm just going to go slightly over. Let me show you. So we've got 3 full coils there, and at the overlap it will almost look like you've got 4, but you just need to allow for an overlap and also taking into account the loop. Now it's actually 5.5 centimetre diameter, this one, which does look small, but by the time it's been stretched out, best not to do that because it's quite sharp, it will fit most wrist sizes. Now, what we're going to work with today is the memory wire. I've got some of the metallized acrylic spacer beads. I've got these fabulous little tubular beads that you can either have them plain. Let's find the plain ones out. Jan says, love my necklace. Thank you. And hello, Kim. Lovely to have you join. So that is the clear tube, plain tube. That's more the, got sellotape on my hand. How bizarre. And that is the etched one that just catches the light. So Jan's saying, how many bracelets do you get out of one wire? So basically this will be one bracelet, which is 3 coils. So you'd get 3 bracelets out of one set of 10 is what I would say. Unless, of course, if you do want a single bracelet, you can do that as well, Jan. We'll see how we go for time, but you'd have to add a clasp on if you just did a single one. Right, there we go. And the other thing I'm going to work with is some gemstone chips. So we've got some rose quartz. I'm going to use the rainbow beads as well. These are all in the group and online. Turquoise howlite and amethyst. Like I say, I might change it as I go along, and I think that's about it. But the other thing you could do is, if you want everything designed for you, something like this is quite nice. You could always also do this as a single bracelet. So I'm just going to pop onto my mat a selection of beads. To be honest, you can use any beads you like. Now, quite often, if you go abroad, I remember when we went to Tenerife quite some years ago, you find in a lot of the lovely markets that you have these memory wire bracelets with magnetic hematite. So that's another thing you could think about, is if you want it to sort of click in to each other, you could use some magnetic hematite. Right, so that's my amethyst. Turquoise howlite. The other thing you could do is have a bead soup, if you've got a bead soup of beads that you want to use. Now, I don't really want to take too many off, do I? Otherwise, I'll be threading till the cows come home, won't I? To pop them back on at the end. And I love these rainbow beads. I am going to take all of these off because I've got so many beautiful colours. Right. First of all, we are going to get our round nose pliers and we are going to turn a loop. So sometimes you do need a wee bit of brute force for this. What I'd suggest you do is go slightly over at the other side, and we will pop a head pin on there at the end. So first of all, this is just total random designing. There we go, let's pop that up there. Start with a little bead. Now, the only thing I'd say in this that's a wee bit annoying is it is like a slinky. So you do need to keep pushing it all the way down. You could always feed them on and then push them down in a clump. I'm going to use one of those next. And I do like these little spacer beads. So let's use a cluster of the amethyst. Also, you will need to double check the fact that your beads fit on, but most do, I think. And like I say, what you can do is shuffle it along when you've got a group of beads. Now, if ever you're running a workshop, from experience, they take up a lot of beads. So just bear that in mind if you're not wanting to either spend too much on jewellery, if you're selling the jewellery, if that makes sense. The good thing is with the chips is, you know, they do go a long way. Seed beads is another thing that you could do. That's quite an economical way of doing the beading as well. So I am adding, I'm adding the cluster of gemstone chips. I've done amethyst, turquoise howlite, and now the rose quartz. Which are your favourite gemstone chips to work with? Do you like working with gemstone chips? And what I'd also like to know, is anybody beading today? Is anybody beading along? Now with these, personally, I like to get a bit of a pattern going. So that's where we're at so far. So I've got the little bead, and they're really cheap as well, these little tiny silver beads. So you've got the amethyst, the howlite, the rose quartz. And then I'm going to add some of our rainbow beads. I think I'll add a selection of different colours in it as well, so that you blend in. Maybe I'll add a little spacer in between each one. So Jan says she thinks she's going to enjoy using memory wire. It's very versatile, it really is. And Carrie's favourite is amethyst. Jan loves gemstone chips and has loads. Well, there you go. You know, this is some ideal projects for you. Oh, but Kim says not beading at the moment, just trying to stay awake. I know that feeling. And rose quartz for you. It's such a lovely, gentle stone, isn't it, Kim? And this is what happens, is it does get in a bit of a fuddle at times. Right, I think I'm going to add a couple of those. And so Carrie says she's beading later. Francis is not beading, but sorting out beads to make the multi-strand necklace I did in the tutorial just before Christmas. I loved that. I loved that necklace. Linda's waiting for a solicitor to call, so may have to drop out. No problem at all, Linda. Right, so that's 2 of those. And I think we'll add in a pinky coloured one. Have the turquoise one, and then I'll repeat the pattern the other side. There we are. Oh, we need one of these. And one of those. Right, sorry, I'm going to put some of these little beads to the one side so I don't keep crossing my arms over on the live. Right, let's put some over here. put them over here and I still reach out over my mat. How ridiculous. Okay, let's let that all drop. Let's take a little look where we're at. What I like about these faceted rainbow beads is that they've got so many beautiful colours in them that you can actually marry in all the colours with the beads that you're doing. So that's going to be my sequence. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. I'm just laughing at some of the banter in the group. Carrie's asking Kim what she's been up to not be able to keep awake. Well, I'm not saying anything. I think I'm going to need a little bead. I'm going to put a diamante spacer in. There we go. And that, do you know what? I don't like that. I do like it, but I'm going to change it because I feel that that should be over there. So I don't know if you remember me mentioning to you, one of the things about doing the bead along is you'll be able to see how I create. And for me, that doesn't rock and roll flow. That's like big, 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 small, 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 big. So it needs to be, to me, it needs to have a bit more of a flow. Now I'm going to take off some of these. It's just personal choice. Now Jan is saying, what makes memory wire keep its memory? Do you know what? I have to say, I don't know how it's produced to create the, what am I trying to say? I don't know how it's produced in production to maintain the memory of the loops, if that makes any sense at all. It'd be quite interesting to know how it's made, wouldn't it? I would imagine it's probably pressed. I would imagine that this is just, could be totally wrong, but I'm wondering if it's heat pressed and then onto a shape and then cooled down to actually maintain its strength. Just food for thought. Could be totally wrong, but I would imagine it'd be something like that. Yes, do report back. That would be interesting. I did look up a few weeks ago about how beads are produced. I wanted to know how gemstone chips were produced, actually. I'm still no further on, but apparently I think gemstone chips are literally the chips that come off of gems, and then I think they're tumbled. Right, there we go. And next I am going to add another one of these etched beads. And then the start of the sequence then is amethyst. Three large amethyst. How are you finding these bead-alongs? Are you finding them useful, or perhaps something that might break up your week, might help for getting you motivated? How are you finding them? Or is it too much with having the Thursday one as well? What I like about these engraved or these etched tubes is they take up quite a lot of space as you're beading. So that's a bit of a bonus. There we go. And what have we got next? We've got the rose quartz next. Oh, well, that's nice to know. Carrie says very inspiring. Well, that's good, because that's, you know, that is the whole idea. Oh, where's the hole in that? So Jan is loving the bead-alongs, both for learning and socialising, community feeling. That's brilliant. It is lovely, isn't it, to just get together and have a chat. And we do learn things off each other. So please don't feel afraid to comment in the group. If your brain is ticking 10 to the dozen, like mine often does when you've got a group of beads in front of you, and you're actually thinking, do you know what? I'd quite like to try that, or that would work quite nicely. Share it, because it might give someone else that little bit of inspiration. And also myself, you know, we're all looking for different ideas, and we all have different ways of processing our ideas as well. Frances likes that it's during the day, as she has other commitments on a Thursday. Also, by having it at midday means I'm more likely to make something in the afternoon. Oh, that's good. And do share your makes as well in our beaders group. Apologies that I haven't been on there much of late. I do have some catching up to do, but obviously our lovely team are on there as well. It's just because I've got a week to prepare for my next jewelry maker show, and to a degree, you know, you have to kind of focus and crack on with it, but by the same token, it's really really enjoyable. Right, done that, and then we've got another one of these. Love that it's during the daytime too. It gives you a break. Yeah, and perhaps for some of you that work, you know, I don't know how many of you work, how many of you work from home, etc. But, you know, it's kind of a lunch hour thing as well, isn't it? Perfect for winter time. Kim said it's fab, but don't get any beading done on a Wednesday with mum chauffeuring duties. Yes, that's true. I forgot you're on mum duties. How's the prep going for jewelry maker? Really good, thank you. I'm quite excited because I am going to be bringing some bead embroidery to the show, and we've got some shell pearls as well. You'll like these shell pearls, Jan. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I know you like your shell pearls. And I sit down. I don't know if you recall me showing you last week, but what I find really useful is I've got this book that I actually bought from Amazon. I think I saw it on another site actually, and it's for jewelry designing, and it's got lots of spaces for you to design in. And I almost have like a brain sort of a brain dump on the page. That sounds really awful, and I don't mean it to sound awful, but it's just literally dumping all of your thoughts onto paper and doing all of my designs. Because I don't know if you're like me, is that you have these amazing ideas, and then if you don't jot them down, I forget. And then I think, I know I had a really good idea, but I can't remember what my really good idea was. So by having this book, it's really good because even if I don't do all of the designs, it's something I can refer back to. Nobody else could probably um, do make brain. You know, when you're actually beading and you can't think at the same time, that's me at the moment. What I'm trying to say is I don't think anybody else would be able to make out my designs. Sometimes I can't, to be honest, but most of the time I can because I put notes on there as well. Right, let's put some of these in. So, oh, I thought that was the case. Yes. Specially treated wire, normally stainless steel that's been tempered or cold forged to hold its shape and hardened while it's been made. Yes, because normally the heat will soften it, then they'll probably shape it while it's warm, and then they'll probably dunk it in the cold so that they actually keep its shape. Carrie wondered what I could do with a cup chain. Yes, I've got, honestly, stay tuned because on Tuesday, because I've got some really, really lovely designs that I've not thought about before for memory wire. So yeah, normally in the middle of the night you get your design ideas. Isn't that so true? And it is a really good idea to actually have a book by the side of your bed. My ideas come to me when I'm half asleep. Do you know what? I haven't done this for a little while, but when I did, I found that having a book by the side of my bed was really wonderful to help me get back to sleep, because there's something quite relaxing, not only designs, but also to help your train of thought as well. If there's something that's bothering you, I mean, gosh, I lay awake the other night worrying about the raffle for the concert that I was doing. I was thinking, has anybody organised the raffle? I mean, does that really matter in the middle of the night? But I couldn't get it out of my head. And isn't it silly things that go around your head, isn't it? As well as design ideas. Right, let's have a little recap and see where we're at. So if we just stretch it out. So can you see how the colours on the rainbow beads actually just pick out the different colours in the design as well? So that's just something to think about. It doesn't need to be a busy design. And then we'll start back again. So that's our amethyst. So Jan says, so pretty already. Thank you. And I think I mentioned to many of you before that pastels are really in at the moment. That looks like a clear one. I don't know about amethyst. Oh, Kim uses her phone to jot things down when they come to me. I also write down my dreams. Jan loves how the beads are catching the light. They are, aren't they? I'm doing my usual and chucking my beads everywhere. Do you look at analysing your dreams then, Kim? Or looking at why, sort of a pattern? Dreams are bizarre, aren't they? Very, very bizarre. Oops. I also have as well, because I don't have a very good memory. I do have a good memory for some things, you know, all the things that aren't really that practical. I put it down to my age anyway. But I have a 5-year diary, which is just like thoughts of the day, except there's not enough there's not enough space on there, but all I write on there is what I've done that day, and I can look back and, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. And I'm actually near the end of it. Near the end of my 5-year diary. Right, how are we doing there? So the next little bit is the crystals. Kim loves the colours. Hello, Maxine. Lovely to have you join. Maxine, have you done any memory wire before? Whoops. So yeah, if any of you do teach, then my recommendation to keep the cost low, because it can be quite expensive running your memory wire workshops, is seed beads are ideal. I mean, you might not want to, but sometimes, you know, because they take quite a lot of beads, you don't want to put all your best beads in there. Kim always analyses her dreams. Also, they have relevance further down the line of the dreams that have actually premonitions come true. Do you know, Kim, so have I. Really bizarre. Really bizarre. When I was expecting my first baby, obviously going back some years now because my eldest are in their 20s, but I had a dream that I was in my sixth form toilets, which was really weird. I wasn't, you know, a young mum or anything. This was just a dream of times gone by. And I was talking to a friend in the toilets, and I walked past the mirror and I clocked the fact that I was pregnant. So I walked back and I had a look and I went, oh my goodness, I'm pregnant. And I was. Really bizarre. And I had no idea until the dream moment. Oh, so Maxine's done a workshop for craft group and ladies thoroughly enjoyed it. That's really nice. Right, I'm just trying to think how to actually finish this off. I think I'm going to finish it off with... do I finish it off there? Let's have a look. That would probably be okay. I'm going to finish it off there because otherwise it's just going to be totally out of sync, isn't it? So let's just open that up. So, whoops. There you go. You can also buy necklace memory wire as well. I used to have loads of it, but I sold out on all of it. So we actually cut about 1 centimetre from the end. And then we're going to turn a loop. Like I say, this is quite tough at the end, and you want to just make sure that kind of overlaps a bit at the end. And then finishing touch is I'm going to pop on a head pin either side, because I think that adds a really nice touch to it. So I've got one of the ball head pins, and I'm going to cut it about 1 centimetre from the top. Kim wants ring memory wire but struggles to find it. I'll have a look, Kim, see if I can get some. Was it literally 2 do rings, Kim? That'd be something else we could do, isn't it? Troubles with turning loops. Yes, the loops are not easy on memory wire. The secret is to buy memory wire that's not too thick, because otherwise they become a nightmare. And also, if you can just see, is just overlap those loops, because you don't want any gaps in them. Otherwise, your beads will start going underneath the loop. Rings and something else. There we go. Let's pop those on the end, shall we? What are we doing for time? Right, sorry, I'm doing it. I'm not even telling you what I'm doing. I've just slightly opened the loop to pop that on there. Pop there. So I just think that little dangle just adds something really pretty. So let's pop that on. So as you can see, it does snuggle to the size of your wrist. You can use as many or as little coils as you want. You just need to make sure that you've got enough coils on there to keep it in place. Now, I don't know if we've got enough time to do one coil, and I can show you how you can make it into a single bracelet. So scarves, that's a good shout. Thank you, Jan. She's added a few more bits to her basket. I'm just thinking, if we do a single bracelet like this, I'm going to use one of these. I think what I'll do before I start another is just put these away, because I'm getting in a bit of a pickle. Whoops. Right. Bear with. Oh, that's nice. Yes, it would, wouldn't it, Kim? The tulip beads, Kim's saying, would look really nice with this. It really would. Right, that's the howlite. So for the howlite, that's what I've got left from one strand. And the amethyst I have got all of that and that left from a strand. Actually, I might as well stick them all in a box. Right, nearly there. Right. Oh, managed to flick the beads everywhere. So this is the other thing you could do, is have a single strand bracelet. So you'd want to make sure it overlaps to allow for the wrist size stretch as well. Okay, and turn a loop, one end, and you can see just a bit of brute force and just go around a little bit more. Yes, absolutely. Maxine is saying that the ring ones can be used for little cup drinks charms. Right, just for one moment I thought, eek, do they fit? But they do, fortunately. So I am just literally going to copy the design of the bead strand, which is this one. Let's move those out of the way. So I've got 7 amethyst. These are really lovely dark amethyst on these. I might change it slightly. I might do 5. And then a star. And a bead. The little stars are gorgeous, aren't they? So this is literally all from that strand. And then we've got these gorgeous, gorgeous fluorite that are electroplated. Let's turn that round the other way, shall we? I'm just going to add 3 of those. And then a star. Difficulty is trying to work out where your centre point is as well with your memory wire bracelet. I'm going to add a couple of amethyst. One, 2, 3. And then, let's just push that up there. And then, so how many stars have we got? We've got 1, 2. I think what I'm going to do is add a star followed by the Tree of Life charm that's on it. Love that. So that will be our centre point. It's almost a shame that it doesn't actually go the other way as well, but I suppose if you're having earrings it would be dropping the right way, won't it? So let's just reverse that. So star, let's do it around the other way so that the stars are in the same direction. But until bringing this today and actually making a point of, yes, we're going to do memory wire today, do you know what? I hadn't even given it a thought about doing memory wire single bracelets. So it does get me thinking outside of the box, so to speak, as well. And those beautiful strands that our lovely Frances has done, this is an ideal opportunity to actually make use of her designs because she's done it all for you, and you just literally can stick it straight in. Kim says she's full of designs. I think that's what you meant, isn't it, Kim? Right. 1, 2, 3, star. We're nearly finished. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 amethyst. 1, Do we have anybody watching on YouTube today? Normally I get some little comments up, but maybe it's a bit quiet on there today. Whoops. Right, what you need to make sure is that you shimmy all of the beads up to the end. I nearly went to cut with my normal pliers then. Don't cut with your normal pliers. Cut about a centimetre from the end. Oh, that would be nice, Carrie. She's going to make her teenage granddaughters these. Obviously, the further down the pliers you go, the bigger the loop, but just overcompensate. Now, I like to complete this fully, so I am just going to go and grab a clasp. Now, you could actually just wear it like that, to be honest. If you don't like clasps, you could just stick it straight on your wrist like that. That's still quite stable, but you've got to bear in mind if you're doing the shopping or anything like that, you know, you could quite easily lose it without realising. So let me just grab some clasps, an extender. There we go. Instead of a clasp, oh, that would be nice. Kim's saying instead of a clasp, you could use a ribbon instead. That would be nice. Might have to get someone to tie it. I'm going to see whether or not we can actually add the clasp on without a jump ring. So I'm just slightly opening that. You could also go without, if you want to, you could go up without the extender on that. Let's try it the other way around. So you would just clip in that into there. Not so easy when you're online. Think you might need an extender. Let's pop an extender on. It makes life a lot easier. So again, we're just going to open that up. So these bead strands are on the website and in the group. And what I would probably do is cut that chain down, because personally I think that's too long. And I would add, I can find it because I just, there we go. I would add a little amethyst bead onto a head pin. Cut that down. Turn it at a right angle. Loop it back. Like so. And then just attach it to the end of your extender clasp. Right, there we go. So you've got your nice little clasp there. You've got your fluorite, your stars. I think that's really lovely. And I think, you know, if you're selling jewellery or gifting it, that's really beautiful. So that's what we've done today. We've done 2 projects. We're going to leave it there today. So we've got two projects. One is a single memory wire and the other one is your wraparound memory wire. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I'm just going to show you before we go where you can find different things as well. Apologies in advance if you've seen it already. I'm just going to quickly pull up my website. Right. Thank you. You're very welcome. I just want to remind you where to find things on the website. Now, this is how you can subscribe. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, please do if you can. Jewelry tutorials and materials are here. So if you want a quick reference online to seeing what we need, here's today's. And it's just showing you what we've used today. The rainbow crystals, the rhinestones, the hollow tube beads, gemstone beads, ball head pins. There you go. Also, you can shop in here. There you've got your beads, lots of different things. I think that is it for now. Very pretty, thank you. Bird on a wire, I just got here and you're done. I'll watch the replay. Oh, well, thank you for joining and I hope you enjoy. Do pop a note in the comments while you're watching it, Bird on a Wire, and I can reply to you, and especially if you've got any questions. Maxine, thank you, Rachel. That was lovely. Thanks from Francis. Right, you have yourselves a lovely afternoon. I'll see you all very soon. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's live. Part 2 of a bead embroidery. Take care. See you soon. Bye.